started. There are 23 in total. We had 22 right here in Alberta. Built by Canadian foremost in the Calgary area. A company big in the manufacture of oil field equipment. The 23rd Ice Field Explorer would be on Antarctica, used by an American base for service purposes. Tires, Michelin's Terra Tire special design, 5 feet high, 3.5 feet wide, to serve 3 purposes, of course, 6-wheel drive traction, 15 pounds pressure in those tires, very spongy to help with the rough terrain, but most important of all, they don't damage the glacier, as did the old track machines. There are 6 major outlet valley glaciers flowing off the Columbia ice field. If we could see over on the other side of this moraine, or from the lake, you could look up and see the Dome Glacier. If you drive north on the Icefield Parkway for a few miles, you see the Stuffield Glacier. So you can see 3 of those glaciers from the Icefield Parkway. The largest, the huge Saskatchewan Glacier, is just over on the other side of Mount Athabasca. Accessible for hikers, not a bad hike, from Parker's Ridge. There's 2 remote outlet valley glaciers, Castlegar and Columbia, that's not often seen, I don't think, by human eye. Now this area is called the Ice Core Moraine. That sure looks like a pile of rocks and gravel right there, and so does this. But in fact, it's a pile of glacial ice with a very thin layer. Yeah. And that thin layer of rocks and debris on the Athabasca Glacier in this area has prevented the Athabasca Glacier from melting as fast as the main body, which is exposed to the wind, sun, and where'd all this rock come from? Well, we have Mount Athabasca right here, the valley, mountain drama. Very soft rock in those mountains, and the water is constantly trickling in to the cracks and the crevices in the mountainside, and the tremendous force of freezing water has broken all this rock. It's come tumbling down on the glacier over many years. Away we go! Woo! Some areas along here on our left-hand side will soon see just how thin a layer of rock is on the glacier right here. So far, now you're going to start to see the glacier peeking through. Right here you see. Now you can see that it's just barely covered with rock. Doesn't seem like it, but there you go, right there. Coming down the hill, we're picking up a lot of mud, silt, and debris on those big tires, so the road crew maintains a pool here. And the idea is we have to wash our tires before we go on the glacier. Because you notice there's no mud on the glacier? This is why. This is an idea of our road chief many years ago. They had to dam the stream and make a... Now, it took me a while to come up with a name for this area, but I now call it the Athabasca Tire Wash.
Athabasca Tire Wash.
Here we go. Now, up on the glacier. The Athabasca Glacier, by the way, is close to 1 kilometer wide and about 5 kilometers long. And the glacial ice you can see from the toe to the very first step of that head wall represents only 3% of the total size of this huge ice field. So far, beautiful clear afternoon. As we look off in the distance, we can see right on the ridge a beautiful snow ridge. Just beyond there, the beginning of the Columbia ice field.